Hey everybody, Chief Van Operator here for Wayfarer Vans, and we have a fun one for you today. We're going to be looking at the Gen 1 conversion, which we started in 2015 all the way up until 2023. And we're going to be talking with Michael here, and he and his wife Allison put in 3 years of full-time living in theirs. And then we'll talk about the Gen 2 conversion and the differences between the two. And we'll talk with Andy behind the camera right now. Yeah, so let's check it out. But Michael, tell us a little bit about your van, where it's been, where you're going.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is my Ram ProMaster 136 Walter. We're closing in on 115,000 miles, amazing miles through US, Canada, all over the place. Like Ian said, my wife and I lived in it for 3 years. If you're interested in seeing more on where this van's been and its story, check out our latest Wayfarer Vans story with my wife Allison that we did recently, linked in the description below.
Yep.
One of the things I want to ask you, Ian, is what are some of the differences in materials when it comes to Gen 1 and Gen 2?
Too many to list. So yeah, we've just been constantly, since 2015 onwards, we've been constantly evolving. From floor to ceiling to walls to insulation to hardware, you name it, we've changed pretty much all of it. And think about it like an Archimedes ship type thing. Really just generally speaking is that materials have, of course, evolved to become much better over time. And so our access to materials as we've grown as a company, just the manufacturing process of materials to become more durable, to the wood species that we use. We have got a lot of great vendors that we work with and that we've collected over the last 9 or 10 years. And they come to us and it's like, hey, we really think that you're gonna like this product. We think it's gonna be a great solution for you and your customers. So we kind of take those, field test them, beat it up, and it's really those things that make those changes over time. But it was 2023 that we made a big change to the Gen 2. So there was a couple material options available to us, and we'll get into more of the history of that in a second here. But just having that and just pushing it all into a brand new conversion based off of the feedback that we've gotten from so many Wayfarians in their Gen 1. Speaking of which, you've made a couple changes to yours, and tell us a little bit about the changes that you made, and then maybe got some quirks to point out too.
So yes, some of the modifications I've made are things like the electric water pump, which was because we knew we were going to be living in the van full time, and we just wanted it to make washing dishes and all that stuff a little bit easier. We added a bigger water tank because of that, and we added a propane tank inside of a box with a hose that comes up to the galley that we can easily hook up to our Coleman stove, double burner, and those are all things that were just, because we're living in it full time, we probably wouldn't have bothered otherwise. That just makes it a little bit more comfortable, and you have to fill things less times and stuff like that. And some of the other things are things that we now offer, but back in 2018, they weren't an option. You would just get the awesome kit and you'd be on your way. But it's things like the puck lights, I added those myself, the vent fan, and also the solar. Yep. That goes into a Yeti system kind of like it does now, or at least we offer now. And then yeah, some of the other things I wanted to mention are some of the fun quirks of this van. One of which being the pull-out table that is permanently installed underneath the bed, where now it's a kind of lagoon table that swivels all around and has many different places you can put it. Which we love. It rattles a little bit more than the lagoon table does now, and it also, if the van isn't fully level, it could be a problem.
Slides back in, yeah.
But it works, and that's our little desk when we're away from home. And one of my favorites is probably the fold-up bed, which we don't have anymore, but that's kind of where if my wife and I cook dinner, we want to watch a movie, that's the best place where we can sit side by side and have a clear view of our laptop screen. Even though there's many other places to sit in this, we have swivel seats and all that stuff, but that just kind of makes the most sense at nights when we're wanting to watch a movie. But yeah, it's another one that's fun is the flexible walls, the PVC walls that if you were to push on them, they flex, but totally work. And this one right here, once, if ever or whenever we get rid of the van, we're gonna take that panel with us because it's got all the stickers of all the places this awesome, amazing van's taken us in. And so hopefully we have hundreds of thousands of more miles worth of adventures to go in. So
So yeah, we've learned a lot over the years in terms of materials from our Wayfarians, just like the durability litmus tests that people put these things through. Honestly, like I'm pretty proud how well it stood up. Like you and Allison have definitely taken care of it. But 115,000 miles, 3 years of full-time living on the road, like, man, you put it through the ringer, I'm sure. Yeah. And but yeah, just adopting those ideas and kind of like the greatest hits lists of all of our Wayfarians out there in the Gen 1 vans, getting rid of some quirks, like leaning into some quirks too. And so we'll check out the Gen 2 van, that's Andy's van, and he's put some miles on that thing as well. But yeah, let's check it out. Yeah, peanut butter van treat.
The best. Andy here, Chief Storyteller with Wayfarer Vans, and we are currently sitting in my 2023 Ram ProMaster. It's the 159-inch wheelbase version, which we refer to as our Walt. This is also the second gen interior or conversion. So I built this last September while working at Wayfarer Vans. So my wife and I have owned it almost 12 months, and we just rolled 23,000 miles. A lot of great adventures that have already been had. Some of those are our adventures, truly, but this is also my daily driver. It's very practical for a wide range of applications. So Ian, tell us first and foremost, what are some of the things that come standard in our Gen 2 that weren't in the Gen 1?
Sure, yeah, we've incorporated accessories that you typically get in a Gen 1. We just kind of bake those into the base conversion for a Gen 2. That's a lagoon table, that's your LED puck lights, and that's a privacy partition as well.
Cool. Now you'll note I don't have the partition in here. I took that out because I have a different window setup, but it is a fantastic solution for giving you privacy and blackout coverage at night when you're in the van. Tell us a little bit about some of the materials that changed in this van.
Yeah, well, a lot of things. So walls and ceiling, that material has changed quite a bit, a lot more durable. It's the type of material that you would see in like a high school gym locker room, so you can just be really wrestling in here and just knock it all to pieces. And it's not gonna be scratched or dented or dinged, like extremely durable. Same with our floor. So our flooring has changed as well. We used to be kind of overlaying like a vinyl on top of the substrate wood. But we're noticing like that had some tendencies to damage a little bit easier than we wanted to. So we've adopted a new flooring system. And then our wood species has changed too. So a UV coated 9-ply Baltic birch. It's more of a like really high-end cabinet grade material. So just lends itself to more manipulation for people who want to add things to their like little touches to their van. So.
Yeah, cool. And I think what's interesting, so I actually looked at a Gen 1 conversion here at Wayfarer long before I started working here, then went through some life changes. We put that on hold, but we came back and had, of course, the fantastic opportunity to get this Gen 2. Right. And one of the things that my wife and I really love is just the warmth and the look and feel of the interior design. Right. While Gen 1 was very utilitarian, as you've kind of characterized, this just has kind of a homey feel, and it's nice to hang out in here at any point in time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're traveling and you're putting 23,000 miles on in less than a year, I mean, you definitely want to feel at home, feel like home. But yeah, so the Gen 1s were certainly like more utilitarian, as I was mentioning. But with the availability, as I was pointing out too, of different material options, came different material like finishes. And so what was great is like thumbing through all the different type of colors and maybe wood grains and things that you could get in this new material versus like, all right, we wanted to really stick with a more durable material for the Gen 1s, but then we just kind of opened up our minds quite a bit to what was available to us afterwards. So yeah, we took what our Wayfarians were asking for from us, and it's like, all right, can we partner aesthetics, form, and function, and get both together? So that's what we have.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about listening to Wayfarians' feedback, and a lot of companies say that, right? But we actually do. This is really the personification, if you will, of the 9 years that you guys were running, 8 years, Gen 1. And all the way down to the smallest detail, one of the things is the bed platform. I'd love if you just tell us about that.
So, the back of the van's kind of this weird organic shape, and we just had kind of this straight bed platform in the Gen 1 vans, and of course people like lose their pillows, lose their spouses, lose their dogs in that gap between the back of the bed and the doors. So we just kind of like just changed that, so it just shaped the back of it. Now it's great, my wife sleeps on the other side of me towards the back, and she uses that as a nice little nightstand for her things. So yeah, just minute details. We have the Facebook fan page, which we don't moderate, we don't own. It's by our Wayfarians and all of our van owners out there. But we do look into that. And so we're creeping in the background and getting all the best ideas, all the greatest hits from, you know, how our Wayfarians change their vans, and just really incorporating those into this Gen 2 van.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a tinkerer and I love to personalize things. I've built a lot of, you know, different camping setups over the years. And so I've done a lot of the similar changes to Michael in that I added an electric faucet. I added a little end table that pops up down here that doubles as a footrest when you're sitting in the passenger seat and it's swiveled around. So it's just fun because we use such high grade materials. You can drill into it, you can anchor into it, you can do really whatever you want to make it your own, and you can rearrange the entire interior with just one wrench. So super fun.
So we've taken the tried and true of our Wayfarian feedback, and we've left just enough out, but then we've incorporated just enough in. So as you were mentioning, like the whole interior can be rearranged with a socket wrench and screwdriver, which I time myself. We got a video about that.
Yeah.
So how quickly you can rearrange it to make it your own. But we didn't incorporate every single little thing that every Wayfarian has done, because we know that everybody's going to be a little bit different and personalizing it on their own.
Yeah. It's awesome. So in addition, with Gen 2, we've added a whole bunch of accessories, a lot of them over the last year. We've now got 200 or 400 watts of solar on our own proprietary rail system. We've got 1 or 2 10-speed vent fans. We've got shore power added in. We've got driver and passenger side windows.
And those have changed even too.
Yeah, absolutely. We came out with the AMA window this year, which features a slider instead of kind of a pop-out.
And a big pass-through, so you can hand coffee out to your wife in the morning.
Or start a taco truck. However you want to do it. So lots of good stuff from the accessory side. You can check all those out on the wayfarervans.com website.
So I hope this gives you a good look at the evolution of Wayfarer Vans over the last 10 years. We had spent some time in Michael's van, put 115,000 miles on that. 3 years of full-time van living. But anyways, we got 1,000 Wayfarians out on the road now, and so the Wayfarer van conversion that you're gonna get now is the best yet.
Well, that's all we got. You guys keep chasing your passions, and we'll keep bringing the best camper van conversion that we possibly can. See you out on the road.
See you later.